This is a digital documentary concerning issues surrounding student inattentiveness, with a focus on pedagogical strategies to promote student engagement in the classroom. By Richard Pack and Emma Allen. A contemporary issue of today's education system is the lack of student engagement, whether students are overwhelmed or underwhelmed with their schooling. Student disengagement is a serious issue that must be addressed in order to improve student success. Students in the education system are frequently disengaged in their classroom activities. In fact, researchers have found that among children and adolescents, school engagement is related to educational outcomes such as academic achievement and school dropout. When students are not engaged in their classes, students are more likely to be unsuccessful in school and as a result may drop out before graduation. The question of why students are disengaged must be addressed to help solve the dilemma. Students have stated that they generally regard school as tedious, irrelevant, alienating, elitist, and concerned with rote learning and testing. Other students feel as though they do not belong in the school, whether it's due to a lack of involvement in clubs and sports or a negative classroom climate. Finally, other students find school challenging and are not confident in their skills. Wilms found that less than 50% of Canadian students are deeply and actively engaged in their schoolwork. Wilms, Friesen, and Milton later found that only 37% of students are engaged in their mathematics and language arts classes. Due to the lack of engagement, students are more likely to drop out of school or refrain from attending post-secondary. Although the dropout rate in Canada has decreased over the last 20 years, Alberta has among the lowest graduation rates and surprisingly high dropout rates in Canada. Only 74.7% of Alberta students graduate, and 39.6% move on to post-secondary. So where are we losing students? Well, first we lose students' interest, and then we lose student presence. What can we as teachers do to prevent the loss of students? First and foremost, teachers should design lesson plans that allow for interactive activities and social engagement, rather than creating a banking system in which teachers deposit their knowledge into their students. Have the students be involved with the teaching through inquiry-based and hands-on learning activities. Secondly, make the information and assignments relevant to the students and their everyday lives. When students are less focused on, when am I ever going to need this? And more focused on, I can use this, they will be much more engaged in the classroom. Finally, create a positive classroom culture by developing relationships with your students. When students feel as though they belong in a classroom, they are more motivated to learn and are thus more engaged in the classroom. When relationships are developed, teachers will know what the students want to learn and how they learn. This will make teachers better educators and the students will benefit greatly. There is an issue in the public school system in that students are not engaged in the classroom. However, there are some ways to improve this issue. The source of the solution is, you guessed it, teachers. Teachers have the ability to make their lessons more engaging. Through the use of inquiry-based lessons, making lessons relevant, and creating a positive classroom, students are more likely to be engaged in lessons. When students are engaged, they will be more successful than they could have ever been before, and there's a far greater chance that they will graduate high school. Teachers, student engagement is in your hands, so what are you going to do with it?